Hi and welcome to this first week ahead analysis video of this year. I hope everybody's had a great end of the year and I'm wishing you all the success in 2024. But let's kick it off with a week ahead analysis video. We're going to find out what's going on in the news and we're going to look at some charts of interest. So in the news, it's going to be a lot of dollar data coming out this week. We've got ISM manufacturing PMI, JOLTS job openings, the first FOMC meeting minutes of the year, and we also have the first non-farm payroll of the year. NFP is going to be very important, obviously. There's a lot of talk about potential rate cuts from the FOMC. I don't necessarily see that coming in the first quarter of this year, but depending on data, we could see it maybe towards the later stages of the year. We do have to remember, though, the central banks don't tend to cut rates unless they really have to. And we've seen that the stock markets are rallying and things like that. So they might not need to cut interest rates just yet. Now, you can see the average hourly earnings down here, expected to fall from 0.4% to 0.3%. NFP expected employment coming down from 199k to 168k. And the unemployment rate is expected to rise from 3.7 to 3.8%. So that type of data there could suggest that the US dollar could fall ever so slightly. ISM manufacturing PMI holding below 50 according to the potential reports coming out, so there's not really much expansion going on, so the dollar could remain a little bit weaker this week. That brings me on to the currency strength meter for this week. The dollar now at -7 as the weakest currency. We've got the Japanese yen as the strongest currency at +7 in those key reversal zones now. However, I do feel like maybe that the sort of weakness in the dollar could remain this week. Remember, when I'm looking for reversals on the currency strength meter, I'm looking for anything below this yellow line and anything above this yellow line here. I'm looking for yen to start to weaken and I'm looking for dollar to start to strengthen. What I would like to see, though, is a week of it actually starting to come back up, though. So what we can be guilty of is starting to sort of buy the US dollar a little bit early and then it continues to sort of weaken there. I like to see it start to kind of head back towards the -5 and above, and vice versa for the yen. I'd like to see it kind of come below +5. That kind of tells me that the weakness is starting to come back into the market there. But dollar and yen, the two currencies really to watch from a currency strength meter point of view. Moving on to the US dollar index, then we can see that we did find a little bit of support here last week down at the 100.75 handle. These were these kind of lows that formed towards the end of July of 2023. Obviously, that could suggest that there is some short-term buying to come into the market, and we could see a move towards this key high here of 102.50, also a channel high as well, which then could see the US dollar continue to trade lower. If we were to breach the 100.75 handle, then I think we could come and reach the 99.75, which were these lows that formed back in July. So looking to see if the dollar weakness can continue in the short term or whether we can start pushing back towards a key level of resistance here. Moving on to cable then. So cable's quite interesting considering that the dollar has been a little bit weaker. Price continue to fall around about that 1.28 handle, which were these kind of highs that formed back in August, and prices just continue to fall. Every time we've tried to make new highs, sellers have come back into the market. That's telling me that pound may be a little bit weaker against the US dollar at the moment, which could signal a move down towards 126 again. If the dollar was to continue to weaken and price did breach 128, then I think that opens the door for a move up to the 1.2950 handle for cable. Moving on to dollar yen then. So this is the currency pair to watch, really, considering those reversal signs on the currency strength meter. I'm on the weekly chart here and there are some really clear defined zones here. Support for one is down at 138. This could be a really good level to watch for a retest. If we are going to see that dollar weakness continue, yen strength continue, I would expect 138 to be tested. This could be a good place for a reversal to start to kick in, because obviously there was a really strong support from here in the past. back in July and August of last year. So if we do see price come into this level, we could find support yet again. If we were starting to kind of find support anyway and price did start to kind of breach above sort of your 144s, then I would expect maybe a move back towards the 151.80. This is going to be a really interesting chart going into this year coming up, because of the fact that we could start to see rate cuts from the Fed and rate hikes from the Bank of Japan. Obviously, very soon to even consider any of that, but even rumours like that circling could obviously increase the yen strength, and we could see a move to the downside. If we breach 138, the next kind of key support for me is down towards 130 spot 25. Finally, then, I think an interesting chart to watch at the moment is dollar CAD. I can see that the market is in this large trading range. We've been in this range since sort of November of 2022, and we can see that the market is trading between sort of 1.3175 support and 139 highs in here. So will price remain within this trading range here? If it does, I think, you know, if we do get a little bit more of a dip there and we see some kind of lower time frame changes of trend, this could be a market to really look out for, considering trading ranges are a lot easier to sort of navigate rather than those key trends in the market. So definitely one to watch going into next week as well. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you had a great break, like I said earlier. Thank you again, and I will catch you in the next video.